Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, 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 Rama 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 Ram. Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. Let us be deeply grateful to Bhagwan for giving us this opportunity to be able to be here, the powerful shrine, to be able to sing his powerful name and offer these Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. We have been seeing several episodes, Leelas, the glory of his name, the glory of his form, the glory of his grace. Many, many, many Leelas pertain to our everyday life, the problems generally we come across in the household. Now, why do we have to talk about these Leelas? We could discuss some deep philosophy. We could discuss the teachings of Bhagwan. Because, as we see in every Leela, the basic is calling out to Bhagwan helplessly, invoking his grace. And the grace would step in and do the needful. Now, the greatest of all the miracles is the miracle of transformation of mind. The mind, which is mostly tamasic and rajasic, has to be turned sattvic. Our every effort towards God is only for this. So for this greatest miracle to occur, the miracle of transformation, the miracle of purification of the mind, we go through Leelas after Leela. Also, Bhagwan had assured, wherever people talk about some experience of this beggar, which they like, there this beggar will be. That will be my ashram. This beggar would live there. Even if two people talk about the Leelas of this beggar, the experience, he wouldn't say Leelas, he said experience. Even two people recall some experience which they had with this beggar. Be sure this beggar is there. That is this beggar's ashram. What a declaration. What more do we need? This is straight from Bhagwan's mouth. Now, today we shall see. There is a question in the minds of many people. After we begin to chant the name, somehow our life brings in some trouble or the other. Immediately we connect it with whatever suffering we get. And then we say, oh, because of chanting that name, this has been provoked. Little do we understand what is involved in all this. Every nama that you chant rouses a huge divine energy, sattvic energy, and it is beneficial and it will do us good, only good. But it would seem to many people that chanting the name invites trouble. But Bhagwan will teach them sometime or the other what is involved. Now we shall see a very interesting story from Mrs. Kalyani Bose of Virudhunagar. We have already heard her once before, a very touching episode. Anyway, I would recall some of that. She says that she was drawn to Bhagwan in 2006, as early as 2006, but she started to go to Sivakasi Bhajan Ashram only from 2009, and after that, till about 2000, they continued chanting. Some ladies would gather together every Thursday and sing his name. Now 2011, it was January, and it was then Bhajan Ashram, Kumaravel's aunt, Srimati Uma Surendra, called her and said, "You chant the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar and send the count to Amma." So she started it. Almost 3 weeks had passed and she was writing and chanting, and every week she was promptly sending the count. But it was the third week, suddenly something went wrong. Her husband had a heart attack. So the first thing that came to her mind was, people say, when we chant the name, good things would happen, good tidings will come. But what has happened to me and why? Her heart started to scream in distress, great suffering, unable to see the suffering of her husband. Mr. Bose was immediately rushed to a hospital in Virudhunagar, and there Dr. Ratnavel said, "You please go to another hospital, Jeevarajan Hospital." And as soon as they went there, they did many tests, test after test. And then someone came and said, "It seems to be very complicated. We may not be able to handle it. You may have to take to some hospital in Madurai, and it may cost you 4 lakhs. In the meantime, her husband lost his consciousness. So you see, trouble after trouble. Nothing seemed to work. But suddenly, she was driven to the extremity of suffering, and that's when wisdom dawned. Suddenly she remembered Sri Muralidhara Swamiji's advice when he had come to Bhajan Ashram, that not a single nama would go waste. This is what our Bhagwan kept saying. Not a single nama goes waste. So now, encouraged by this, she started chanting vigorously and rigorously, with tears, with her entire being, holding on to Bhagwan's feet. She says, "Yogi Ramsuratkumar, I have no one else. You are my only refuge. Your feet are my only refuge. Please help. And she was chanting with her entire being. And how could Bhagwan resist it? Within 10 minutes, Dr. Jeevarajan came, saw the case, and then said with a smile, please don't worry, don't fear anything. As far as I can see, there are no complications. He would be all right. You just get admitted in this hospital for 5 days. I would take care of you. It was Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan who spoke through Dr. Jeevarajan. That's how it seemed to Kalyani Bose. And of course she got him admitted in the hospital. And then at one point, after 5 hours I think, his consciousness returned. As they watched, he was surrounded by all those local devotees of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. They were all standing around, everyone chanting vigorously Yogi Ramsuratkumar Nama and praying and looking at him, his face intensely, when he slowly opened his eyes. In the meantime, Shrikant Deepened gave one picture of Bhagwan. He just kept it near the face of Mr. Bose. So as he opened his eyes, the first thing that he saw was Bhagwan's picture. At that moment he realized that he had come alive by Bhagwan's grace. After 5 days of treatment, he got discharged. But now, Mr. Bose is a changed man. He has become as devoted to Bhagwan as his wife. Kalyani Bose says that those 3 weeks she was writing, she used to be afraid of her husband. When she wrote her name, she was hesitant, afraid her husband might say something. You see, another thing that happened was, when her husband was rushed to the hospital with a heart attack, and then one hospital turned him out and the other hospital took in, and there they were saying, you have to take him to Madurai. Some of her relatives and people around said, you know why this is happening to your husband? It's because you are not worshipping our family deity. Instead, you are chanting the name of some man from Tiruvannamalai. Why would you do this? That is why you have brought this sad incident upon yourself. So you see how tortured she must have been. But she would not easily give up, and she went on, more vigorous than ever before. And to her delight, her husband returned to consciousness. And the doctor said immediately, she says, after she held on to the feet of Bhagwan, saying that you are my only refuge, please do something. Within 10 minutes, Dr. Jeevarajan came, studied the case, and declared happily, don't worry, don't fear. I will take care of him. So you see, this is the proof. People would say all kinds of things, especially when we are vulnerable, when we are doubtful, when we are very much distressed. But then, if we are steadfast and rooted in our faith, the faith will win over everything else. So this is what we see. One thing that I want to clear here is, It does happen that after people start to chant the name, some mishap may happen. But please know that because this mishap is going to happen, Bhagwan, with his grace, with his kindness, daya, he comes into your life, he makes you chant his name so that you'll be able to put up with that. You'll be able to draw strength. And you may work out a miracle or two. This is only to strengthen your faith and devotion, to give you the mental strength to go through it, to invoke the grace and tide over the mishap successfully and happily. So it is the Nama which is coming to your protection, knowing that some mishap is around the corner. It is not the other way about. So if anyone should say, it's only after you started to chant your Swami's Nama, this thing happened, that thing happened, you tell them, whatever happened is because of your fate. Whatever you gave to somebody is coming back to you. If you have a good word for somebody, that good word would wait around and will come back to us at the right moment. And so is with a bad word. It will come back to you with vengeance sometimes. It will come back to you at your most vulnerable moment. But know that this is what I have done to somebody, so I should never do it. To learn this lesson, these things are happening, but instead we antagonize people even more and get into more trouble. It's because of lack of acceptance, lack of wisdom behind it. Now we remember Mrs. Kalyani Bose, another incident that happened in 2014. Now before that, 2011, after Mr. Bose got interested in the Nama chanting and began to worship Bhagwan, he also joined his wife while going to Bhajan Ashram. They would attend bhajan sessions there and satsang. And whenever he went there, he heard some of them remark, "Oh, just see Bhagwan's face. He's smiling. Oh, he's grim. We don't know what happened, he's grim." And sometimes they would say, "Oh, he's laughing so much." And sometimes he's smiling. He started to wonder, what is happening? I'm also chanting the name. I'm also drawn to him. And I come here, listen to the satsang, do the bhajans, but why is it not happening to me? I'm not able to see anything at all. The Shilamoorthy. So you see, this was a longing with him. It's perhaps to increase this longing, to strengthen our devotion and faith, such things happen in the beginning. So he was a little disturbed over this, that he was not getting any experience at all like others. But same year, on the 1st of May, always Shri Kumaravel would bring devotees of Sivakasi to our ashram every year. It would be a very happy, holy day, the whole day. They would participate Nama chanting very cheerfully, and the Pada Puja, and then they would be doing a service also, and they would attend satsang, and they would themselves share their experiences with us happily. It would be a day of joy in Bhagwan, a day of fulfillment for them. So it was with us also, that when they left, we would feel that they were leaving. So you see, at that time, it was the afternoon arati, and Mr. Bose was standing with the men watching this. And suddenly somebody said, "Oh, look at Bhagwan. Just see the leela on his face." And suddenly he looked up. And this time he saw something he never imagined, even in his wildest dreams, that he would see. Bhagwan was laughing so much. Here, the Shilamoorthy in front of us. Mr. Bose saw Bhagwan laughing and laughing so much. His whole body shaking with laughter. So his longing for so long got fulfilled, which strengthened his faith and devotion further. Now once again he became very enthusiastic, his faith renewed, rejuvenated, and he was writing and chanting the name after he got back. One day his son phoned up to say, "Appa, you people, you're worshipping a Swami from Tiruvannamalai. Why don't you pray to him to give me a job in America? I've been searching and I'm not getting it all. Why don't you pray for me?" Immediately, Mr. Bose sat down to write the name. He wrote and chanted, and finally he went inside the puja room, submitted the notebook with the prayer that my son should get a decent job in America. He came out of the puja room, declared to his wife with such faith, "You see, I have written the name, and I have prayed, and I have submitted the prayer at his feet. Now our son will definitely get a job." Within minutes, he got a phone call from his son to say that he got a job. So you see how the impossibles turn into very delightful possibles just at the invocation of grace, and how by chanting and writing and chanting and writing, focused on one particular prayer, will get the job done easily within a short time. Now this happened in 2011. The other episode that Kalyani Bose described is what we had already seen some time back. Let's just recall a few details to show how the Nama works, the glory of the name. After Kalyani Bose started to gather some lady devotees, and every Thursday she began to chant, sing the name in front of Bhagwan's picture. Now one day, morning 10 o'clock, they got a phone call from a hospital in Madurai. A girl of 21 years. It was her second pregnancy. She had jaundice also, acute jaundice. And with that, she got admitted in the hospital in Madurai for delivery. Now the doctors had a problem. They found out that her blood would not easily clot. She had that defect. The blood would not clot easily. So the doctor said, "Okay, we will attempt it. If she has natural delivery, safe delivery, then mother and the child would be safe. But if you have to do cesarean on her, God knows, because her blood would not clot immediately. And there will be so much loss of blood. Very difficult to save the mother. After declaring this, they gave her the injection also. So after the injection, about 10 o'clock, those people there phoned up to Kalyani Bose that this is the situation, the doctor has said like this, please pray to Bhagwan. And Kalyani and about 9 others, they sat before Bhagwan immediately, started to chant, sing the name. Yogi Ramsuratkumar. At 10:30 they started, and they were chanting and praying and chanting and praying intensely, knowing what was happening to a girl well known to her, well known to all of them. It was about 11:10, one of the ladies, Srimati Selvarani, she must have this extra sensory perception, very spiritually sensitive. She must have had some spiritual sensitivity even then, because halfway through the singing of the name and praying, she saw Bhagwan in his usual attire, standing there at the doorstep, watching them all singing. Now, this is a message to us. Wherever people sing the name together, you can be sure that Bhagwan would be there, standing and watching and blessing us. She saw him standing there for some time, watching all of them, and suddenly, from his forehead, between the 2 eyebrows, a black lump came out. It just came out rolling. She saw it, and then she immediately said to other people there, it must be okay now, because I saw Bhagwan standing there and something black, something like a ball, black, coming out, rolling. It's come out, so I think she must be out of danger now. So they completed at 11:30. When they completed, I think 11:20, she had a natural, safe delivery. The mother and the child were safe. The news was passed on to these people, to their delight and surprise. What a wonder, what a miracle, what situation. The girl was, the delivery time, and she had jaundice, acute jaundice, and she had this defect, the blood wouldn't clot easily. With all that, she was able to come out safely. Now after some time, these people went to see her, and then they found her healthy. She used to be fat, now she was thin, and what was more, her jaundice was completely cured. And when Selvarani began to say how, when they were singing the name, Bhagwan was standing there at the doorstep, watching the whole lot of them, and then a black lump had come out of his forehead. It came out rolling. When she said that, the mother, the new mother, said, look, at 11:20, when I had the pains, the doctor said something black came out rolling, and after that it was safe delivery. Just imagine how it came to be true. It was a vision for Selvarani, but it foretold what was to happen. So to their great delight, they found that it had really happened, and that black lump which was blocking the way had come out, and it was safe delivery, natural delivery, so they could save both mother and the child. What an episode. How beautifully it reveals the efficacy of the name, how efficacious. What the medicine or the medical experts could not do, our chanting together the Nama of Yogi Ramsuratkumar will get done. And it increases everybody's faith, it strengthens everybody's devotion, and it would finally take us to that final state of fulfillment. The final miracle, the miracle of miracles, of transformation, complete transformation, where we would see only His grace everywhere, in everyone, in every happening of life. Now that Bhagwan is here right in front of us, we should submit our today's prayer. Bhagwan, we all know how you rescue people from time to time at the mere beck and call, as they say. You come rushing to help us. Now we beg you, not once or twice, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000 times, for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire world, and India in particular, because of what it is going through right now, from the clutches of this dreadful, monstrous virus and its variants, and bring back a dharmic normalcy in every aspect of life. And Bhagwan kindly uproot the panic from the hearts of people and arrest the rapid spread of the diseases. Please enter the medicines and make them work so that the whole clan of viruses would be killed. And all those people waiting outside the hospitals for a room, for oxygen, for some suitable medical treatment, Bhagwan, with a great heart, please cast a compassionate glance upon them so that they get what they want and get well soon and return home safely. And all those great soldiers, warriors who are fighting the disease, working so hard day and night at the very risk of their lives, please give them protection. We beg you. We also beg you for a lift to our economy. Above all, it is not only lives, but also livelihoods have become the casualties. Bhagwan, only you are our refuge. We hold on to your feet, just as Kalyani Bose did. And we are chanting your name, hopefully all the time. Please intervene and bring back normalcy everywhere. And above all, please bless us with constant remembrance of your name. Please bless us with the right attitude, the attitude of being a good instrument in your hands, and run our life as an offering to you, and that with great gratitude. And then the final fulfillment, the final purification, so that we could see only your grace everywhere. Like Bhagwan Even when people tortured him in several ways, when he lived in Tiruvannamalai in the streets, he never complained. He only said, by Father's grace, this beggar did not get anything to eat for 3 days. Father knows what to give and when. Whatever happens is only Father's grace, and it's only for our good. So let's remember that and gratefully offer our prayers at His feet with the hope that very soon the rescue will come. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.